Edit female identity figures. We heard now a lot of them, mothers, grandmothers. This is the most important content of your work for Women Without Borders. And explain us a little bit why and what mothers do in your organization.
I think Melike, when I listen to her, is a living testimonial for why we do this work and how important this work is to create a global platform for women without borders, to look at each other without prejudice, to realize the strengths we have. And Melike, you're talking about what you have encountered in your own life and in the lives, what you have witnessed in the life of your mother and your grandmother being not literate, but she had obviously strong emotional literacy. And I do think this is at the heart of our work, that we create a space for women to tell the stories of women worldwide through their eyes. What if history would be rewritten from the perspective of women, her story? We need to collect her stories and also mobilize the potential of women, mobilize the strength of women, mobilize the trust of women in themselves, so that we really create a different world. And the subtext of our organization is Women Without Borders change the world. So I truly believe we can be change makers. And we can see that in peace processes where women have been involved on the international level, that the peace agreements are long lasting. And that peace looks different. And, truly civil society is involved in this peacemaking. And I do think this is true for all levels of society, in the private and in the public sphere. The personal is political. This is a mantra of the women's movement. And if we start realizing our potential in our immediate ecosystem, in the families, this is where we change the dynamics of power. I do think that we have also focus on reimagining power and transform powers, that we actually can live in a more constructive way together. I mean, it's very hard to say that 2 or 3 days after the attacks on Vienna, where obviously we have seen the worst of humanity. And I do think that we as women, and we work with mothers, and I'm so happy you're talking about your mother and your grandmother also in your work, and it's a theme of the exhibition. We have to realize that mothers have unique power. They are the first school in the lives of their children. They are an emotional pillar. And this is not only personal, it's also actually a tool that should be used when we talk about security. And security is on all of our minds. Since 9/11, it has gained such a different meaning. And also now, one attack after the other, we feel, we are unsure where will this go. The otherizing, the polarization is starting again. And this is actually the goal of it, to bring us apart. So I do think that women have a really important role to play, that they can be a real important stop factor within their families, because they are the emotional anchor. Who gets as close to the young people as the mothers do? So I do think we have to work with them, and this we do, and we translate all of this whole philosophy into a model, and we have created mother schools, Parenting for Peace, which will roll out now across the world. And we have so many ways to express ourselves, and you express yourselves through art. We express through ourselves through activism and mobilizing mothers and women. And this is a synergy between all of us. I think as a collective of women, we have this incredible power we have to take, we have to realize, and we have to acknowledge. Before we ask that the society does it, we have to be self-confident enough, stand up and come together and move forward.